made.
Without a doubt, one of the great moments in sports for me is talking to and with the young man that I'm about to interview. To many, and probably to most, he always will be the heavyweight champion of the world. Welcome to Dallas, Muhammad Ali.
Thank you very much, and I'm glad to be here. I like Texas, and I'm trying to come back more.
Muhammad, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you several questions, if you will. Are there any physical ill effects from your recent fight with Joe Frazier?
No, I had a swollen jaw, which went down in about 5 days. That was all. As a matter of fact, that's the only thing that I've ever had in physical damage in 286 fights and about 18 years of fighting.
I'd like for you to take as much time as you'd like to answer this question, but is there definitely, in your mind at least, a rematch schedule?
Right, for sure. Joe Frazier's okayed it. My people have okayed it. The only thing now that's a threat to it is my Supreme Court case, which they're deciding on now. They are supposed to make some type of ruling the 19th of this month. Otherwise, if I'm free and not in jail, the fight is on. If Frazier has no accidents on his motorcycle.
Well, then I guess pending the results of the Supreme Court case, then you couldn't elaborate as to when the rematch would be.
Well, we're working for between the 1st and the 15th of January, the 1st of next year.
Muhammad, as you visit college campuses throughout the country, do you find that you're greeted with kind of mixed emotions, or would you say that you're very encouraged by your acceptance on these?
100% in my favor. Never nothing mixed. Not even one boo, not one heckler. I've had a couple when the draft fight first started, and somebody in the audience jumped on them and beat them up, which I didn't agree with. But as far as it's surprising to say, I seem to be welcomed more just as much as so in black colleges. As a matter of fact, I'm on a college tour, and 90% of my arrangements are mainly because of financially able. I set up by the white colleges, and they meet me by the thousands and thousands. And I'm so tired of these college engagements that I'll have to stop for a few months.
You've heard it from the man himself. A great champion and a very beautiful man, Muhammad Ali.
I wrote a poem for your show.
Sure would love to hear it.
Show, and I like your style, but your pay is so cheap, I won't be back for a while.
Councilman Jess Johnston will present the newly sworn-in city officials with a plan he has backed ever since he took place two-seat on the council 2 years ago. The plan calls for the division of the city into 8 wards. The councilman representing each of the 8 areas would be elected from his representative geographical area. If you'll pardon my hasty artwork, you see that the wards are divided by these major arteries in the city: IH-35 West North-South Freeway, the Turnpike East Rosedale, Poly Freeway, Forest Park and McCart, the Clear Fork branch of the Trinity River, I-20 and Jacksboro Highway, and a portion of Belknap. The mayor would keep his at-large representation status, and Johnston says that he does not propose that this be a permanent plan, but only on a 6-month trial basis. Mayor Stovall has said that he would favor putting the proposal to the people in the form of a charter change. But he has also stated that half of the 8 council seats should remain at large, the other 4 elected by districts. 4 other councilmen favor putting the question before the people, and other councilmen oppose the plan entirely. Johnston believes that the area representation, would greatly benefit Nowtown citizens. Jim Green, Channel 8 News on the Move, Fort Worth.
I'm holding a handful of the 3200 block of Wake Street in West Dallas. It's just one of the many unpaved streets in West Dallas, and tomorrow the Dallas City Council is expected to approve a $21,000 contract to study paving on 17 streets in this area. This is the result of a 2.5-year effort by groups such as Los Barrios Unidos, and John Zapata Gonzalez is the coordinator for that group. John, let me ask you, if this action is taken as it is expected to be done tomorrow, what will Los Barrios Unidos be up to next in the West Dallas area?
Malcolm, we are going to keep pressing forward as we have in the past 2.5 years. And I am pretty sure, Malcolm, that the present City Council has worked very hard with us. They have cooperated, and they have taken the first step forward in getting things built out here constructively. And I'm pretty sure that the incoming City Council will do the same thing.
Do you need to do more?
The streets where the city is way short on, Malcolm, the incoming lights that are going to be installed will be sufficient for this particular area, but we're way, way behind on street paving out here.
Police place the value at stolen bicycles in Dallas alone at around $190,000. A bicycle dealer says the figure for replacement brings that closer to $400,000 a year. But the real value can only be weighed in the terms of the youngsters deprived of their most prized possessions. To most of these kids, this is perhaps their first brush with the ugly side of life. Meet a neighbor of mine who lost his bike and his brother's bike on the same night. What happened?
Well, I cut the chains off the bicycles and took them both. They couldn't run them off because one of them had a flat.
Let's take a look at those chains if we can.
This was on one bike and this one was on the other, and they cut both of them and took the bike.
Pretty heavy chains?
Yes, sir, they're log chains.
Does it happen at night or the daytime?
It was about 9:30 at night.
The bikes are being stole, have case-hardened chains and locks, and they're cut with chain cutters. Not just a bolt cutter, but they're being cut with chain cutters. And some of them are even being picked up, if they're not locked to a pole, they're being picked up and taken with the lock on the bicycle. So they have to be either in a truck or a car to carry them off.
Detective Richardson, have you heard rumors that these bicycles are perhaps being reconditioned and sold in neighboring communities, or even stripped with the parts being sold to bicycle dealers?
I have heard those rumors, yes, sir, and have had liaison with the neighboring communities, and thus far have had no results from it at all. There may be some grounds for the rumors, but we have been unable to uncover them through our contacts with the other police departments.
But is it the kids? Remember the 2 bikes chained to a metal table and 1 bike with a flat? Certainly no kid rode the bike with a flat out of my neighborhood at 9:30 at night without being heard. And what kid is going to carry chain cutters when he's out on a lark? Now, Dallas police can account for about half of the bicycles reported stolen, but many thefts are never reported. How many is open to speculation. Is someone trafficking in stolen bicycles, and are they taken out of town for resale? That, too, is open to speculation until someone comes forward who has the answers to that question. In the meantime, at least 10 youngsters a day in Dallas alone are going to have their first brush with disillusionment and heartbreak. Tomorrow, we'll look at ways that we might stop some of these bicycle thefts.
Last Friday, 315 students left their 12th grade Eustace Public School for Easter vacation, but they won't be returning here after the holidays. Last night, the WPA-built rock schoolhouse burned to the ground, cause unknown. I talked to Eustace School Superintendent Nolan Stretcher about the value of the loss. Mr. Stretcher, do you know the reason for the fire?
No, I have no idea.
Was it a total loss?
Almost total loss.
Do you know the value of this?
No, I don't.
What's going to happen to the 315 children that went to school here?
Well, we intend to go to school. It may be in churches or it may be in some of the school buildings that are not being used at this time.
I understand you have a volunteer fire department. Were they able to get it out without spreading?
No, they wasn't able to get it out because it was too far gone when they got the information.
For Channel 8 News on the Move, this is Judi Hanna.
I believe the severe beating that he received before the fall came on this incident.
What kind of markings did he have on him from the beating?
Well, he had some large gashes in his head and all over his face and also around his neck also. This received from the beating.
Has he been identified as yet?
No, sir, he has not been identified.
Did he have any markings that may help someone in our audience identify?
The only physical markings we have so far is a tattoo on his upper left arm. It is a tattoo of a wine, women, and song, and it has a tattoo of a woman sitting in a martini glass, and this is the only thing that we have so far.
Did you talk to your shop teacher or anyone about the kind of tool that would have to be used to cut that chain?
No, I didn't. My mother talked to the man up at the Schwinn shop, and he said that it was a special kind of chain, and they were pretty hard to cut, and it needs some kind of